Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Comic Hall. I'm your host, Dylan Lang. This is the week of September 12th, 2018. Some interesting books, particularly probably one of my most favorite covers of the year, probably coming up right away soon in a second. But I just want to talk real quick about a few things. One, tomorrow, Saturday, the 15th of September, or if you're watching this after that, sorry you missed it, but on Saturday, September 15th, I mentioned this last week on the Hall. I'm going to mention it again here. Tomorrow, Saturday, September 15th, is Batman Day at your local comic book store. So what you need to do is you need to find your local comic book store, go to the comic shop, go to your search engine, I should say first, then go to comic shop, type in comic shop locator service, and then once the website pops up you think it is, click on it and get to the website. When you get there, put in your zip code. It'll give you a list of all the comic book stores in your area, unless you know which one is yours, and then go to that. I guess it depends on if your comic store is involved with this or not, but they will be giving away a free Batman comic as well as a free Batman mask, and a lot of them will probably be doing sales. My shop will be doing a 50% off of trades. So if you need to catch up on some Batman stuff or want to buy some Batman trades, stuff like that, you know, my store will have them at 50% off, so you can get 2 for 1, basically. There's some good stuff out there. This is just the first of a couple of weeks, days coming up. Next month, October 13th, will be Walking Dead Day, celebrating the anniversary of The Walking Dead on October 13th. It's a Saturday also. They'll be doing a free Walking Dead comic there. And I think in November is local comic shop day. They're going to be doing some kind of stuff for that as well. So stay tuned to the Comic Hall. I'll let you know about that. So just remember, tomorrow, Saturday, or Saturday, September 15th, it is Batman Day all day at your comic book store. So go to your local comic book store, get free Batman comics, get a Batman mask, buy some Batman trades or comics. There's a couple out this week. Actually, there's really only one, to be honest. Yeah, only one Batman related comic. Anyway, it's not even the real Batman comic, but Batman is still really, really good. Particularly, I love what Tom King is doing with Batman, so you can get caught up with that by buying the trades. Or, you know, I've been watching the Diamond releases for the week. The last couple weeks, there have been a ton of new Batman stuff. So, prepping for this day. So, a lot of stuff going for that. So, definitely check that out. Also, tomorrow will be my 5th anniversary doing blogs, vlogs, YouTube shows, whatever you want to call it. My original show, Dylan Knows, debuted 5 years ago tomorrow. So September 15th, 2013 was my first episode. So I'll be celebrating with a double episode of my show, Dylan Knows. So we'll check that out around 9:30 p.m. tomorrow. But for now, we're here to talk about comics. Again, go to your local comic book store. Get a free Batman comic, get a Batman mask if you want to. Buy Batman trades. They might be on half price, depending on what sale your store is doing. Buy some Batman comics. There's some new ones out. A lot of new different Batman stuff out there. And also, you know, Batman Day doesn't necessarily just have to be at the comic book store. Why don't you go watch some Batman movies or the animated series or whatever. Dress up in cosplay and run around and do fun stuff. I might wear my Riddler outfit tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe for my show, maybe I'll do that. It's a good idea. So we'll see. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about comics. And this week was a pretty good week. The next 2 weeks are actually pretty good weeks. This is the stuff I got this week. So this is this week's haul. This first book from DC is by far my favorite cover, and I was lucky that my store still had a copy of it. This is Catwoman number 3. Wow, look at that. It's a beautiful cover. Love this cover. And Catwoman number 3 is written and drawn actually by Joelle Jones. Fernando Blanco actually has a little bit of artwork in this as well. So you're going to get to do some of that. Catwoman is been reborn in the Batman comics, and now she's got her own series with a great female artist writer working on her. So you can't go wrong with this. It's been a good series so far. And definitely worthwhile for you all to pick it up. So definitely. So, you know, that's something you can maybe pick up for Batman Day because she is a member of Batman's squad. So speaking of women, Supergirl, number 22. Mark Andreyko and Kevin Maguire with great covers by Terry Dodson. And the word bubbles, which have been showing up a lot more recently. It's good to see Kevin Maguire and Sean Parsons inks. It's good to see Kevin Maguire on a regular book again. It's been a while. And Mark Andreyko's always been a pretty good female writer, particularly with Manhunter, which is a great series. But get some guest appearances by the Green Lantern Corps, and some adventures there. So definitely worth a pick up there. Plastic Man number 4, Gail Simone written miniseries continues. It's another really nice cover with word balloons again. It's a 6-issue miniseries, so you're about halfway there. It's written by Gail Simone with art by Adriana Mello. So, and you even get appearances by some of Gail's Secret Six cohorts, which is pretty cool. It's been a fairly interesting story so far, and it looks like Gail's having a really good time with the characters, having fun with it. And see, it's one of Gail's Secret Six characters, so definitely worth that as well. It's been a good story so far. Got my wife involved in it too. Tell it's warm because the water's already melted and it's condensing. No, I don't need updates right now. This book surprised me a lot. Hawkman number 4. I had been getting the variant covers by Steven Sejic, but he didn't do the new one for this week's issue. So, hey, I'll get a Brian Hitch cover because Brian Hitch has been amazing on this book. He's drawn all 4 issues. It's written by Robert Venditti, and it's been a really interesting story exploring Hawkman's various identities. In fact, he's actually fought against himself numerous times, and he didn't remember because of the time travel thing going on. So we get to explore Thanagar. So it looks like Hitch really knows his stuff about Thanagar and looks absolutely stunning. So Hawkman has been a bright spot. I've really enjoyed it, and I think you should definitely check it out. And we get an appearance by the Atom in this one as well. So that's a good one as well. I've been surprised by this. Superman number 3. Brian Michael Bendis continues his run on Superman, but what surprised me most is Ivan Reyes has drawn all 3 issues. Now, when Ivan Reyes first came out, he was doing books on a monthly basis, so he's been able to do them and keep up with them. And then after a while, something just happened where he would do a book, an issue, maybe 2, and then wouldn't come back for like 8 issues, and then come back and would do another issue, and then would disappear again for like 8 issues. So it would take him that long to do it. Well, this one is the 3rd issue, and it is like bi-weekly. So I'm thinking because the way Bendis writes stuff really quickly, that he probably had this started way in advance. Maybe it might have been one of the reasons why Ivan Reyes had been only doing like 1 issue here and there of other books. So maybe I deserve a little mea culpa to Ivan Reyes, but we'll see. Joe Prado and Auclair Albert inks. So get Livewire in this issue. So I'm still not the biggest fan of Bendis' run on this, particularly the creation of this new character, Rogol Zar. I mean, Ivan Reyes' artwork looks good, but the one thing that did excite me is an appearance by one of my favorite characters, and that is interesting. It's Adam Strange. For those who might not know, I have a 7-movie series idea for Adam Strange in my head, and actually, to be honest, Hawkman as well is involved in the last 3. So it's kind of an interesting idea. So it's nice to see him in there. Maybe he'll play a bigger role in the series later on. But I like Adam Strange, and I'm glad to see him coming back. I'm really getting close to canceling this or dropping this with the Flash. This is the variant cover. I thought it was pretty cool. I wasn't a big fan of the main cover because they've discovered the Strength Force. Josh Williamson is doing a pretty good job of writing this. This is the Flash number 54. Christian Deuce is the artist, and they found this Strength Force instead of the Speed Force, which makes people extraordinarily strong. So, and Williamson is all in on this metal thing that Snyder is doing and has done it before. Worked with him on it, so he's all in on this. So we'll see what happens with this. I'll probably continue collecting because it is the Flash, and I like the Flash, so we'll see. But it's getting hard with the bi-weekly schedule, and I'm so far behind in it that we'll see what happens. But That's it for DC. Marvel, we get a pair of Spider-Man books this week. Spider-Man is my favorite character, by the way. For those who don't know, it was the one that my dad gave me his collection, which started me on my road to comic fandom. First, we have Spectacular Spider-Man number 306. This is 309, excuse me. This is Chip Zdarsky's next to last issue. This one's drawn by Chris Bachalo, with inks by Livesey, Alvey, Tim Townsend, Victor Olabazo, and Wayne Faucher. Sandman, drawn by Chris Bachalo, is amazing. So very good, and I've liked what Zdarsky's done with this. So we'll see what happens and who's going to take over afterwards. But Zdarsky has one more issue left in his run, and then he's done. So we will see what happens with that. And then we also have Amazing Spider-Man number 5, which is basically coming out bi-weekly as well. It's been pretty good so far. I wasn't a big fan of Nick Spencer's Captain America, but he's doing a pretty good job with Spider-Man. And Ryan Ottley has been drawing it like crazy. Cliff Rathburn and Ryan Ottley are inking it as well. I like it particularly because Peter and MJ are back together, and I love that. And it's an interesting story, and Spencer likes to play with the old characters from the past. He's got a pretty good history of Spider-Man and likes to use his bizarre characters that you very rarely see. So good on that. I think that's the end of the first story arc, so we'll get the next story on that. Dan Slott, who used to write Spider-Man, is now writing Fantastic Four. Issue number 2 is out this week. Sarah Pichelli artwork. And Sarah Pichelli did the pencils. She did the inks along with Elisabetta D'Amico. We learn what Reed and Sue have been up to between Secret Wars and the first issue of Fantastic Four. So we will see what's going on with that. And then the whole group will be getting back together. It was announced this week that The Thing and Alicia Masters will be married in issue 5 of Fantastic Four. So you got about 3 issues to go before then. Because if you've been doing the original counting, it would be issue 650. So, Domino by Gail Simone has been amazing. This is the end of the first story arc. I like the Greg Land covers as well, and it's just been fantastic with art by David Baldion. Gail's been doing a really, really good job with this series, and I've enjoyed it. My wife has enjoyed it as well. So it's a character I never thought I'd really be interested in, but with Gail's voice makes it unique and interesting and a fun character to read again, and a pretty good story. So I will go with that. Exiles number 8 has always been a great book. You know, alternate realities and alternate superheroes are always good. This one's written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Joe Quinones and John Rivera. And John Quinones did the inks on it. So it looks like the Watchers from an alternate reality are putting them on trial. So the Exiles have been interesting. It's been an interesting series. So these next 2 books from Marvel are for my daughter, and I will give them to her afterwards, but I better show these as well. Beatable Squirrel Girl number 35, written by Ryan North with art by Derek Charm. My daughter really, really enjoys Squirrel Girl so much so that's her favorite superhero, so she's always happy to get new issues. This one looks like a silent issue, actually. I think it is. You know, they've done those a few times, so I like it. So that's an interesting one-off on that. And then Marvel Rising Omega. Marvel Rising is a new superhero cartoon team with Squirrel Girl on it, as well as Ghost Spider with the former Spider-Gwen, America, Miss Marvel, and some other new characters. This is the last issue of it, the setup for the cartoon. Devin Grayson's writer. Georges Durante with Roberto De Salvo are the artists on it. So again, if you like these characters, it's a fun, unique take on it, and you can follow their adventures in the new Marvel Rising Secret Warriors TV show coming out on Disney September 30th. So I have to remember that and record it. That's it for Marvel. Independence. Mystery Science Theater 3000, the comic. This is the new version, the Netflix version of it. They are actually doing a comic of it. This is my girl Felicia Day on the cover. It's written by Joel Hodgson, who is the original creator of Mystery Science Theater 3000, but it was also written by Harold Buchholz, Matt McGinnis, Seth Robinson, Cheryl Volpe, and Mary Robinson. The host segment art is by Todd Nook. The end comics art is by Mike Manley. And basically what they do is, this is the Todd Nook artwork, which I've always liked Todd's stuff. But instead of movies, they are putting them inside a comic book and making them do comments on the comic book in the style of old school comic books. So, or it's actually put into an actual comic book, and they just change up the words and the artwork, and the artwork is the Mike Manley is the one who does the artwork of the characters. So I thought it was a unique take on it, so why not? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the Tempest #2 is out this week as well. This is the final part of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen storyline, written by Alan Moore with art by Kevin O'Neill. So get ready to have your mind blown by the many literary Easter eggs in them. There's also a backup story as well. So definitely check that out. The Seeds by Ann Nocenti and David Aja, issue #2 from Dark Horse also. Ann Nocenti is one of those great writers who's still writing good stuff. Karen Berger, who created Vertigo, basically, is in charge of this. And it's a unique book with aliens and goats and all kinds of weird stuff. And finally, then we have Howard Chaykin's Hey Kids Comics #2, which is basically a comic story that takes place during the comic book era of the 1960s, when they just started getting into comic books. So it takes place at a comic book company with new characters that I'm sure are probably based on Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and stuff like that. And it's written and drawn by Howard Chaykin, so you can't go wrong with that. And finally, I showed you this last week because it was late. Issue #2 of The Nightmare Before Christmas Zero's Journey came out. Well, here's #3. I told you it was going to be out, so here's that. It's written by DJ Milky with art by Ishiyama. Kai Ishiyama did the pencils. Inks by David Hutchinson. And it is in manga style, so you're going to have to read it the way the Japanese read their stuff. But it is a sequel to The Nightmare Before Christmas and has your characters that you know and love in them as well. And that is it for Comic Call this week. So, to reiterate again, tomorrow or Saturday, September 15th, whenever you're watching this, will be Batman Day. So go to your local comic book store and pick up your free Batman comic. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but pick it up and also get a Batman mask. And your store might be doing some special offers and deals. They might have some cosplayers in there, stuff like that. Just go to see what they've got planned for it. It's like a mini free comic book day, but instead of a lot of different comics going for free, it's just a Batman comic. Enjoy that. I'll be back next week with some other exciting books that are coming up. And hey, fall's coming right around the corner. So hey, all good. All right, y'all, take care and be safe, those in the path of the hurricane. And tomorrow, Batman Day.